So you saw the title, BB versus SG Shotgun Cartridges. Now, for our American friends, you should know what BB is. BB is just like a really big bird shot. And SG is the British equivalent of double or buck, as in it's more or less exactly the same. You've got basically 9 pellets in a 2 3/4 inch cartridge, so sort of big old ball bearings. Now, the reason for the comparison is BB is a great all-rounder. If you're just like rough shooting, you know, you're bashing squirrel drays, brilliant for that, really good for that, because it's got a decent amount of range, it's got enough power to blow up those drays. Yeah, it's good. And then, you know, you could still shoot a pheasant with it, you could shoot wood pigeon with it, because it's safe. It's big, but it's not too big, it's safe to shoot up in the air. You can shoot your rabbits with it, it's just a good all-rounder. SG, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, if you know the rate, it's not going to have the ballistic coefficient of a bullet, but that said, you know, you don't really want those big ball bearings landing on anyone. So really, you're not going to be shooting that up in the air, but it might be a good option to have in your pack, so you can just whack it in the gun to shoot a fox with. And the reason I say that is that, you know, I even, you know, sort of was talking to somebody about this the other day, where they're just like, oh, you know, what load shall I use for foxes? And it's like, well, realistically, you know, you're probably not going to get close enough to a fox to shoot it with a shotgun. And, you know, if that's what your aim is, you need to get yourself a rifle. That said, you know, if you've got dogs, or if you've got beaters driving them towards you, or if you're a pest controller, or you're digging them, or you're in more built-up areas, then a shotgun can come into play. But even then, even with BB, really, you don't want to be shooting them more than about 20 yards away. Any more than that, and yeah, you're just going to annoy them, really. But the thing is, with at that sort of range, you know, number 6 is probably going to do the job, but only if you get a really good sort of right in the centre of the pattern, in the middle of the beast. And I've seen it done, you know, it can be done. But realistically, you know, you don't want to risk injuring it if you clip it or whatever, or even if you do, you want to make sure it stops. So this is where SG perhaps comes into play, because, you know, with any of those pellets, if you just hit it with one of them, it's certainly going to stop it, and it's going to have energy to a much further range. So then it's just a question of what's it going to pattern like, because in terms of pattern, normal birdshot's going to pattern much better at 30 yards, but it's not going to have the power. So there's a bit of a comparison to be made here. You know, is it worth having? Is it better just to stick with it with BB and just use that, or is it worth having an SG in your pocket that you can just whack in the gun to shoot a fox with? For our American friends who are thinking, well, why wouldn't you just have a slug? In England, it's slugs. You can get slugs to shoot targets, but to get them for in the field, unless you're shooting boar, you know, it's just not going to happen. So either way, let's get them on the table, and we'll have a sort of comparison, so just so you can get an idea of the difference, and then we'll get them out in the field. So let's get them on the table, and let's have a closer look.
Right then, we've got them on the table, and you can see on the left we have SG, on the right we have BB. There's quite a difference in shot size there. Now, in terms of branding, we have Ely Alphamax 36 gram 2 3/4 inch BB. Now, these really were not cheap at all. In fact, I think I paid £16 a box for those. So yeah, that was not great. However, it was because this shop doesn't normally stock them, so it's not like I could buy a slab. That's all they've got in. They've got about 4 or 5 boxes of random BBs. So yeah, I want to get a slab at some point, hopefully save a bit of money. These, however, were much better value, and the reason they're much better value is they were free from the same gun shop. Unfortunately, I don't know really what they are. They're sort of mystery Italian cartridges, but I will try and pronounce it. Cartusi alla palatoni. Minosci SPA Luca. Terzaroli. That's actually Terzarola. Yeah, you can see that I'm butchering my Italian here. I'm not an Italian speaker, as you've probably gathered. I think Cartusi alla palatoni is saying a pellet cartridge, or a cartridge of pellets, but I may be wrong. But anyway, the reason I got these for free is a old boy handed them in at my local gun shop. You know, he was a practical shooter and he sort of gave up the sport, and just wanted to dispose of them. But it meant that they couldn't sell them because although they're perfectly fine, I mean, you can see they're fine, and I've shot them plenty of times, they can't guarantee how they've been stored, and because of that, for insurance purposes, they couldn't accept money from it. So I got a load of these. This not just this box, but loads of boxes of those, which was great. Now, in terms of the pallets, I've got pallets on the mind lately. It's my job. In terms of the cartridges, you can see the pallets are quite considerably different. If I just try and pinch one from here and compare it to a BB that I have here, if I can get it out. Yeah. I just want one. I zoom them in. Yeah, you can see there's quite a sizable difference there. And what you'll see with that one on the right, with that BB, is whilst it is very large for birdshot, you're not going to be knocking down any foxes with just one pellet. So there's always still the chance of injury. That on the left, however, yeah, I mean that's pretty sizable. I mean, I'd say it's got to be 40 grain, I'd have thought, and it's coming out the muzzle at like 1,300 feet per second. So you're talking, for each one, at least sort of the equivalent of it, like a CCI mini-mag or something like that. And so, at least, probably more than that, actually. So, yeah, in the midriff, one of those pellets at sort of 30 yards, should really knock down a fox without a problem at all, which is what I'm thinking, because that's what this test is all about, really, because although, BB is perfect for your all-round rough shooting cartridge, because, you could use that for pheasants. You could use it, I mean, it's a bit excessive, but you could use it for pheasants. You could certainly use it for squirrel drays. It's perfect for that because it's a good way of knocking them out. And it means that when they run, you can sort of shoot them up in the air, like with the pheasants. It's not a problem. It's not really a danger when it returns to earth. And you could use it for rabbits and things, and it'll push a fox at sort of 20 yards. Although, as I said before, you're going to be pretty lucky to get that close to a fox unless you're really working for it. You've got dogs and what have you. But with this could be more of a game changer because although, unless you really know the land, you shouldn't really shoot these up in the air. In principle, these pellets, as long as you can hit it, you should be able to reach out sort of 30 or 40 yards and easily knock down a fox. So that could be an option, keep some of these in your pocket as it were and throw it in the gun if you need it. Not ideal, but there could be some advantages to that. So that's what this test is all about, really. I mean, one of the things that I can notice straight off the bat, which isn't really to do with the shot size particularly, just these particular brands, but you can see here the BB has got a plastic wadding, plastic shot cup, as where the SG is only fibre wad. Now, whilst being much better for the environment, fibre wad, as the pellet's going down the barrel, it's going to be smacking against the barrel because there's nothing protecting the shot as it goes down, you see. So these will deform, and that's going to potentially affect the pattern, how well it's going to pattern. And so when you've got a shot cup like that, it's going to be holding that shot in, and when it comes out at the end of the barrel, it's going to open out like a flower. And it's going to mean that these pellets are going to be held together really well, and they're not going to be moving about, and the mass is going to be more focused. And the reason I say that is because if I refer you to my plastic wad versus fibre wad video that I did, with the equivalent load in terms of powder, you're going to get a lot more velocity out of a plastic wad. It seems to give a much tighter seal than you'll get from a fibre wad. So that's certainly going to go in the BB's advantage. However, as I said before, these pellets individually aren't going to have much energy. These are going to have loads. So if you can reliably get one of, or maybe two of these on target at like a longer range, then you're going to be able to be sure that you're going to knock this fox down. I mean, even if it takes a follow-up shot, he ain't going anywhere. As where you're shooting with bird shot of some description, even at 20 yards, if you clip him, you're going to injure the animal and he may well get away. So this is kind of what I'm thinking about. So I've got some tests set up. It's this traditional test. You know the drill by now. I've got a couple of patterning boards to see how each one of them patterns at 20 yards, which is a good distance actually, because real world, a lot of the time, that's the sort of range you'd be looking at shooting a fox. We've got the power test on the Argus catalogue just to see what the difference is. I mean, I think I can guess, but we'll do that anyway. And then we've got the range test, which I'm going to do at about 30 yards, and that'll be an interesting one for this, to see how many pellets you can actually get on target. So, let's get out into the field, and yeah, let's get the test underway. So first up, we've got the power test, and it's BB using Tom's Mossberg 500. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Right, next one. Right, now it's time for SG. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Whoa. I hit it quite hard.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah. Pretty tight. Right, so next up we've got the patterning board test, and first of all we're going to be using BB. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Pretty good. That's not bad. Didn't actually get the shooting C in the middle. Maybe a little bit low, but it's all right.
Fairly devastating.
Yeah, well, it certainly did look to the wood. Right, let's go get the other one. Right, next up on the patterning test, SG. Let's see what this will do. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Now, that's actually pretty good. What do you think of the kick?
Too bad.
It was all right, isn't it? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Still got enough energy in it there. Once it's hit that one.
Yeah,
Well.
it's pretty potent stuff, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went through the wood on the back like it was cheese. Yes. Oh, I'm impressed with that. So next up, we've got the range test. Now this is at 30 yards, and there's 2 A4 size targets. So you're talking kind of like a running fox. So you're shooting one shot and another shot fairly quickly. We just want to see how much, how many pellets you get on target. So first up, we've got BB. Double check. Take it away, Thomas. You happy to?
Got one over.
A bit of a problem. So we're going to put up the next one and we'll carry on. So yes, unfortunately I had to stand the second one up again. Obviously if it was a real fox, then I guess that wouldn't happen. So we're going to pretend that we just clipped it and we're kind of looking and then finishing it off. So, take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
Very nice. Yeah, it's not a huge amount of pellets on target. But you know, that's definitely enough.
Oh god, yeah.
Alright, well let's see what we can do with SG. Right, next up for the range test, we've got SG. I have spaced the targets out a little bit more, so hopefully they'll stay up. Take it away, Thomas.
Okay.
They look a bit high.
They do, yeah.
Now for the... Wow, I mean, is it high? No, I don't think it is.
It's just spread out, I think.
Yeah. Just goes to show. That's the test.
So here we have the results.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, we had the Argus catalogue test. Now, that was at 10 yards, so that's like pretty much point blank range. But Tom, if you want to have a look at the SG, we can sort of have a look and see, you know, how far that went through. Ooh, no.
That is, yeah, we've got lead there, page 579, which appears to be USB devices, and all the way through to,
Yeah, certainly.
look at those big chunks in there still, aren't they?
Very big chunks of lead.
In fact, it's broken the pages all the way back to the cutlery selection.
Yeah, it's still going. There's still a lump of lead there, look.
Portable heaters. No idea what they are. I don't know what those do either. Sure my missus can tell me. Yeah,
So-
that is huge energy transfer.
So yeah, it's still breaking the paper about up. So say 979. So that's pretty impressive. That's about as far roughly as a 2-2 rimfire would go through. I'll definitely have to do a test on these. I don't know what the grams are of these SG rounds, but I'll find out and I'll put something below so you can get an idea of how much foot-pounds of energy per pellet you're getting. But no, compared to the BB, you can almost see where it's got to, in fact. Nice pattern,
Yeah.
but it's up to about 383. So you're talking roughly
Doorbells.
a bit less than half of the penetration. But that said, to be honest, that's going to kill a fox. That's not, you know, you're not going to have any issues with that. And obviously, this is our hobo ballistic gel, so I mean, it's you know, through real flesh. I think it would probably go, yeah, definitely go a lot further. Now then, moving on to the patterning boards. Now these are at 20 yards. Now this would represent what really normally the maximum distance you'd shoot at a fox with a shotgun, normally. Now looking at them,
Sure.
again, it's one of those things where you've got actually a lovely pattern with the SG. It's really tight, and that would definitely do the job, especially given the power. But the BB, you know, you've got enough power to get the job done, but you've got a much wider spread, so especially if it's a bolting fox or something like that, you're much more likely to hit it. So yeah, BB's still winning it as far as I can see it at this point. I mean, in fact, going back to the BB catalogue, you know, look how many pellets you've got right in the middle. So it's, you know, in terms of patterning, it's definitely doing a lot better. Where it gets interesting though is when we look at the range test. Now this is a bit of a screw up initially with the BB, because again, if you looked on the camera, you'd have seen that one of them unfortunately fell down. That wasn't really the idea, but you know, it's still a 30-yard test for each, and you can see you've got a great pattern on that. Yeah, it's all right. Whether I would trust that to knock down a fox though, I mean, it'd probably be all right. I don't know. I think you'd certainly be able to get a follow-up shot. I think, yeah. But then when you look at the SG at that range, you can see you've got like 1, 2, 1, 2 on target, and a couple just on the flyers on the side. Now, for sure, to be honest, any one of those pellets hits a fox, he's going down, isn't he?
He did.
He is. But I'd be interested to see what difference it would make with a full choke rather than, because you were on like half choke with your old with the old Mossberg. Oh, I love this thing. I love the way that sounds. Yeah, and you can see this is like one of those twisty choke things. But yeah, that was like half. If you got full, I think it might have been a different story. But the thing is, in a normal shooting situation, when you're just rough shooting and you might just happen to see a fox, you're not going to be running a full choke.
Yeah.
So, realistically, SG, kind of pointless, don't you think?
Only if it's really close up.
Yeah.
But you can't guarantee that, can you?
But if it is really close up, BB. You know, I mean, perhaps if you were shooting boar or something like that, I mean, I don't think you can. I know you get slugs for boar in the UK, but something like where you need more power. But given, yeah, if you're talking about foxes, you
you just don't really need it, to be honest. And it's the old adage of, like, you know, it's better to have a better pattern than to have lots of power but not actually hit anything. So anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any experience in terms of shooting foxes with SG, and yeah, keep watching.